Good evening, everyone. I'm Charlene, YK's goddaughter, and on behalf of our family, we thank you for being here today to pay our respects and honor an inspiring man, wonderful friend, mentor, and most of all, a loving husband and father. Today, we have a few people giving their eulogy, sharing their special memories we have with YK. First up is Charles, YK's eldest son.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. To many, he was and still is a colleague, a relative, a mentor, a friend, a brother. I knew him as my father and husband to my amazing mother. My most recent memory of him was when I just finished my degree in Manchester. My father, YK, my mom, Joyce, my brother, Andrew, and my godsister, Charlene, came over to the UK in celebration of my recent achievements. From London to Cheshire Oaks, Bath, Manchester, and Paris, we shared so much laughter and joy together. On the day of my graduation, we spruced up to attend my university's convocation. As proud as I was to receive the degree scroll, there was no doubt that YK felt prouder than me. Overjoyed, if I may say so. So proud that he texted the results I attained to his friends and family. He forwarded a few responses with whom he informed Uncle Z and Tina, Uncle Barry and Auntie Patty, David Chong. 16 years of education have culminated in my achievement of a first-class honours. As a kid, I was always fearful of the conversations that were had at my paternal grandparents' home in Sandy Lane. When there was always a family gathering there, more often than not, discussions of academic excellence were shared. Back then, I was a rather playful and lazy kid. I didn't do exceptionally well in primary and secondary school. Neither did I fail any subjects, except for my Mandarin tests at times. I could feel that it was a conversation my father had a tough time partaking in. Although I wasn't as gifted in this field, I struggled through the years, earning a place in Ngee Polytechnic to study business studies, and latterly, University of Manchester to pursue accounting and finance. My entire journey in life thus far has been guided by YK. He has molded me every step of the way to become the man I am today. Without him to walk alongside, I am afraid I will waver and fall. And when that happens, who is going to pick me up? There isn't another man out there like him. His early departure has left a gaping hole in my heart. Every step I take, every action I make, I would always think of YK and ask myself, what would he have done? He may not be physically around to teach us, but the lessons and knowledge he imparted shall live on in all of us and stand the test of time. Tonight, more than just a funeral service to remember him for the man he truly is, I am certain he will want this to be a celebration of his life. If ever you are depressed, ask yourself and think for a minute, would he want you to be in that state? Hold on to every single memory of him dearly. On behalf of my mother, I would like to express my gratitude to one and all for showering your love for YK, my father. We will want more than anything in the world to keep in touch and share with us remnants of your memory with him. A message to my father. Although it is too soon for you to go, you put on a brave front. You fought hard in your career, in sickness, for your family. You have given us the best life possible. But we hope that you could have spent more of it together. Taking so much medication and treatments over the past few years must have taken a toll on your body. This is not how all of us wanted it to end, but we are glad that you are relieved of all your suffering. You are in a better place. May Buddha guide you to the path of nirvana. Always in our mind and hearts. YK Leong, my mentor, my father, my best friend.
Dear caring friends, loving family, and esteemed colleagues of my father, we are gathered here to remember and more importantly celebrate the life of an charismatic enigma. For those familiar with pro wrestling, Jeff Hardy may come to mind, but alas, we are not here to talk about sweaty men in spandex. We are here to celebrate the life of a once-in-a-lifetime human being, known to many as Leong Yee Kong, or YK, as most of you would affectionately address him. To me, he was a devoted father to my brother and I, a loving husband to my mother, a stern educator, a gold mine of infinite wisdom, and the most compassionate man I will ever come to know. He was my hero. Take a deep breath. Father led a fulfilling life, outstanding in career achievements. His accolades were many. A workaholic, my dad loved every bit of his occupation. In fact, a dear family friend, Uncle Edwin, shared with me that when he quizzed my dad on what his hobby was, Father humorously replied, "My hobby is my job." Seeing as so many of his dear friends and colleagues have flown in from all over the world, I can see just why he loved it so much. Father found great joy in making the acquaintance of business partners whom he would come to consider great friends. Dad would come home from many a business trip or work day and cheerfully recount tales of his mighty conquests, acquiring firms for his beloved WPP in the counsel of many wise men and women that surrounded him. In parallel to his exciting work life, Father had a penchant for the greatest pleasures that this world had to offer, be it fine cuisine, fast cars, or majestic scenery. He lived life to the fullest, from purchasing his prized Porsche Boxster to traveling the world with family and friends alike, seeking adventure. Selfless in nature, Father doted on me lovingly, and being the spoiled child of his, whatever I wanted, he always gave to me. But of course in moderation and with sound reason. I take immense pride in hearing from Dad's friends, colleagues that his crown jewels were his family, which he worked hard to provide a living for. Subway tandoori chicken for $5. Okay. Speaking of Indian food, my dad loved his chicken tikkas and naan breads. He was a food aficionado, regularly finding time to indulge in delicacies with family and friends. Chinese food in particular. It was something that Father could not do without, even in Italy, France, and England. His first order of business would always be to find out where the local Chinatown was, and weeding out the restaurants that he found unacceptable, only settling on the finest and the most authentic. In fact, in 2009, the first time that Father brought our family to London, he took us to have lunch at this establishment in Chinatown, which is aptly named London Chinatown Restaurant. There, he explained to us that many years before, the eatery was one of those that he frequented during his days in London. To me, Father is the greatest role model. He is proof that if you put your all into what you do, you will be able to accomplish the greatest things. From a young college student who would study to the point of exhaustion, such that he would place his dinner plate on the table only to miss it and drop the contents on the floor, to a young graduate and an MBA holder making his way as an accountant, and ultimately as a senior director, which many can only hope to achieve. Stories that my father recounted to me, such as his courtship of my mother, having her take him out to a KFC as a college student without money, and setting a personal best record of 14 pieces of chicken consumed, will stay with me forever. Never again will I get to have you walk into my room and ask me, "What game are you playing?" Or have you chided me on ordering a McDonald's delivery. You would always lecture me, "Don't eat junk food, eat a proper meal." And I will never again get to hear you say your trademark colloquial phrase of "Daddy love." But like a broken tape recorder, it would always be on repeat in my mind. Dad, every memory I have of you, all the love and experiences we shared, I will carry with me till the day that I finally reunite with you in heaven. I will have so much to share with you then. So until the time comes, please watch over all of us. We all love you and miss you. Free of mortal pain and suffering, your body was a temporary vehicle, but your spirit immortal. To live in the hearts of those we love is never to die. With your strong will and unwavering spirit, I have no doubt that you will find comfort in the afterlife. Watch over all of us, that we will make you proud. On behalf of my family, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all of you for making time to be here today, even making great expense to fly in from all corners of the world. My dad truly surrounded himself with remarkable human beings. Now, I would like to invite all of you and those not present, but held in high regard by Father, to join our family. For he loved you, and that is what he considered you, and so do I. I have my phone out. Please join me in 1 minute of applause to celebrate the life of my father, YK. Let him hear your cheers. Let him know your feelings. There is no doubt that your thoughts and well wishes will reach him.
I hope I can be as brave as you two are. I'll start with a message from Martin, who was YK's boss and loved him very much. Martin says, "Like you, I'm sure, I was devastated to learn late this week that YK Leong passed away. YK, as we all knew him, was a wonderful man, dedicated, effective, hardworking, loyal, cheerful, a family man, a wonderful husband and father. Everything we at WPP should aspire to be. All of us at WPP wish Joyce and his two sons, Andrew and Charles, long life. YK's dedication to WPP knew no limits, and we want you to know that he was part of our family, and we are there for you at this difficult time. Having lost my father and mother, I know that thinking about them in a way and strangely every day brings them to life, and I hope we will all do the same in the case of YK." So that's a message from Martin. For me, I traveled back from a long trip to the US and unfortunately didn't make it back to say goodbye to YK. I landed in Tokyo on Thursday night, and my connection was cancelled. And I heard the terrible news from Z that YK had passed. I finally got back to Singapore on Friday afternoon, and I was very upset and emotional and tired and jet-lagged. And I got into my taxi at Changi Airport. I told the uncle where I wanted to go, and Uncle said to me, "I'm sorry, the traffic is really bad today. One of our great Singaporeans died." And I said, "Well, the traffic's bad because of YK." And he said, "No, S.R. Nathan died. It's his funeral today. And he was a great Singaporean." And he said to me, "Who's YK?" And I said, "Well, YK's my friend. And he's also a great Singaporean." He was He was definitely my friend, but I guess initially he was my colleague. I spent the past 10 years with him as my partner in crime, running around Asia, doing acquisitions. And his legacy at WPP is incredible. Actually, Stuart added it up. Stuart's good at adding things up. He's done over 100 deals for us in the decade that he's worked with us, and created an immense amount of value for WPP, and we're all very grateful for that. But to be honest, that's not his legacy. It's not what people have been talking about in the past few days. Of those 100 deals, each one has an individual human story behind it. They were never cells in a spreadsheet for YK, although he was pretty good at spreadsheets as well. Each one was a story. And when I look out in this crowd today, many of those stories are here. Many of them that couldn't be here have written to you, I know. And in those stories, YK was the hero of all those stories. He was a really patient man. He was a tenacious negotiator, which I'm sure some of you will confirm. But he was very fair. He was very honest. And he was a friendly man, and he made friends, and many of those friends are here today. So his legacy is the spreadsheet with all the deals, but it's every individual relationship and friendship that he made across the group. And he's had such an incredible effect on so many lives. You should be very proud of him for that. I certainly am. He talked about you guys a lot. He was a very loving husband. I know he missed you a lot when he used to go on his trips. And more recently, he took you with him, I think. So I'm glad you got to spend that time together. He talked about his boys all the time. He's extremely proud of you, as you kind of mentioned in your own speech. I think for me, the horrible irony of him passing so soon and his heart giving out was that he had such a huge heart. It should have lasted forever. It was so big and it touched so many people. He was an incredible man. He meant a lot to me. He taught me a lot. He was a great teacher, actually. He gave a lot of advice. Not all of it asked for, but he always gave advice. Some of it really practical and useful. He used to give me advice about being a good father, which I've taken a lot, about being a good partner and husband. Gave me a lot of advice about work. He taught me a lot of things, some of it relevant, some of it not. I know a lot about things like dividend withholding tax, which I'm not sure it will ever be that useful, but he certainly taught me a lot about it. He taught me things that maybe I won't need to know, like owning a Porsche, which was a big passion of his, and how to manage eating lobster when you had gout. He was quite good at that as well. But he was just such a lovely man. So I want you to know that you're part of our family as well. He has a huge extended family across the world at WPP. And as you start your careers, I hope you know that you can reach out to that family at any time. And if you don't, we'll be reaching out to you because he really does mean the world to us. We're going to miss him a lot. So goodbye, YK. Thanks for being a friend. Thanks for being a colleague. And thanks for changing so many people's lives in such a great way. I wish him all the best. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jess. One of the many people here who has been greatly blessed by YK. And YK to me, he was one of a kind to many goodness. And you know, there are sometimes when I talk to Joyce, I say you could hardly find anyone on earth who can be comparative to him in humankind. He's such a good husband to you. And his business talents, his efficiencies, his fairness, his kindness, his generosity, his inspirations, his sincerity, his bubbly and great sense of humor, and his down-to-earth character, a loving person, a loving husband, a good father to Charles and Andrew, And I can actually go on and on telling you about the goodness of him till the next morning. And you know what? Everyone will have, trust that he never failed to touch every one of us here. He always touches with his good sense of sincerity. And somehow it's beyond my words that I could express my thanks to him. And it will always be my deepest regret for not able to thank him in a big way. And I will always say, my dearest brother YK, you will be deeply missed, and your presence will always stay in our mind. And Joyce, I love you as my sister, and I always love YK as my brother. Yeah, Charles and Andrew, both of you are just so blessed to have such good parents. Please continue, carry on your father's legacy. Treat your mom as the way that how your dad treats her. Yeah, and lastly, I just want to tell Brother YK that I believe we will meet one day, and our friendship will never end. And one day we will meet him in heaven. He will be smiling and welcome us in the heaven's gate. Yeah, thank you.
YK, look around. Your friends are all here today. They've come from all over the world to honor you, to honor a life that we can only hope to aspire. Like what Scott said, it's not for the material riches that you possess, not the corporate success that you have achieved, but simply a life that has touched so many of us. I'm so grateful that you've been in my life. Your wisdom, advice, guidance, or sometimes simply your indifference to an issue has guided me. At work, you are the go-to sage that I will go to for advice, where you will dispense with fairness and objectivity. Your relentless energy, passion, and perseverance to get a deal through has taught me that nothing is impossible. That is if you have a good argument. And argue you did. Even in the most impossible situations, which in the end brought admiration from your counterparts. You took the time and bother to learn about not just the businesses that you acquired, but also the people behind the businesses. And you have that unique gift to make many of these people your friends. And many of them are here today, including myself. Outside of work, you never fail to remind me to take time to love my family and my health. And sometimes I wish you had heeded some of your own advice, YK. You were the kind and gentle man that would make the effort to remember all the little things. I could go on and share all those little anecdotes. But I just want to say that my wife Tina and I, together with my 3 daughters, are so fortunate to have been blessed by your love and Joyce's love. I'm just heartbroken and devastated that my 3 young girls, who love you so dearly, will no longer have Uncle YK come by anymore. It gives me some comfort to know that you had gone on a really memorable family trip to Europe just weeks ago. You were so happy that you kept sending me pictures of Charles' graduation, sending me pictures of your time in Disneyland, and you even told me you bought some Mickey Mouse hats from Disney Paris for my daughters that sadly you did not get a chance to give them yourself. Even in your passing, YK, you're reminding us of a lesson. Then in the end, it's not about one's material riches or wealth. It is simply the countless lives that you have touched, and lives that have been changed by you. And for that, you're beyond wealthy. YK, don't worry about your family. We're here for them. Charles, Andrew, Pearl, Charlene, and dearest Joyce. YK Taikor is an amazing man that I'm so grateful that he has been part of my life. I hope that it gives you some comfort and immense pride, okay, that he has made such a difference in so many lives, many of whom are present here today. Have a peaceful journey, my friend, my brother. It was a life well lived, a life that will forever continue in the lives to continue to live in the hearts of my family, and I'm sure in many hearts present here today. I will miss you forever. Your generosity, your wisdom, your warm smile, and most of all, your simple, reassuring presence. Thank you. We love you. Goodbye, my dear YK.
Hi, everybody. In fact, I did not prepare any eulogy to talk tonight. Yeah, but true from my heart, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for your love, care, and support. And to my husband, Leong Yee Kong, I love you, and you will always remain in my heart. Okay, now I'll speak in English and Cantonese respectively to those elderly. 我好衷心嘅感謝大家對我同我嘅家人嘅關心、愛護同埋支持，好感恩。咁梁宇講我個老公，我愛你，你永遠都係存喺我心裏面。我感謝大家對我和我的家人的支持、愛和關心，謝謝。梁一廣，我親愛的老公，我愛你，你會永遠存在我心裡。
Okay, we'll now open to the floor. So please let us know if you have any special memories to share with YK and everyone here as well.
Hi, everybody. I'm very reluctant to come up because I think since I was really young, I fear my uncle because he loves me so much and I never want to disappoint him. And this was what I feared. I didn't want to be weak. He's really a great man and he taught me many, many things. And I thank all of you that actually flew in and made your way here for tonight, to let him know that we all love him so much. Thank you.